doing it! Holy shit!
Hurry!
Welcome to the third of our 402,000 part series, Better Know a Speedrunner! Today, we'll learn more about underwater smoking. Smoking is a relatively new runner, having only picked up the hobby a year ago. Since then, he's achieved very respectable times in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, Clock Tower 1 and 2, and has dabbled in Fallout New Vegas. This 24-year-old writer/teacher from North Carolina enjoys spending his non-speedrunning free time reading and playing the tin whistle.
I got into streaming the same time that I got into speedrunning. I always wanted to start streaming my runs because my best friend in college was really interested in speedruns as well, and I literally only started the channel just so I can stream for him pretty much. And then just slowly but surely more and more people just started following, and I've created just a little bit of a community in my stream almost. But I remember my first ever stream was terrible. Actually, my first couple of weeks of streaming was terrible. I didn't know how to use OBS. I didn't know how to window capture. I didn't know any of that. So I just kind of, put everything in display capture, which was very cringeworthy. I also didn't talk a lot. I didn't really engage with chat, which are very vital things that anyone has to do as a streamer and also a speedrunner, I'd say. The first speedrun I ever watched was Cosmo's Ocarina of Time Any % run from EGDQ 2013. Before watching that video, I had no idea what speedrunning was. I had a vague sense of what it was, but a friend of mine showed me that video and I was just absolutely floored. Just seeing the amount of detail, time, dedication that people put into completing a game as fast as possible, and I honestly found it very inspiring. It's a great run. There's amazing commentary in that run specifically. It was just incredible. I think it would be Persona 5. Persona 5 is my favorite game of all time, and I always tell people that I seriously wish I could wipe my memory just so I can experience playing that game again for the first time. That game has a very special place in my heart. That game got me through a very tough time in my life. I related to the characters, I related to the story. I was just so invested in that game, and I truly do love that game so much. Over the years, I'm starting to notice more flaws with it the more I replay it, but if I can just go back to that golden time where I was first experiencing such an amazing game like that, I really wish I could do that. Don't ask me to speedrun it though, those speedruns are way too long. In Metal Gear Solid PC all bosses, where you have to use keyboard in order to defeat Psycho Mantis. The reason why is because in the original console version, you have to plug in your controller into the second port so that Psycho Mantis doesn't read your mind and you're able to land hits on him. Well, when they made the PC port, there's no second port, so a clever workaround with this is to use keyboard, and you can only use keyboard to defeat Mantis. And I was so heavily against using keyboard, like I absolutely loathed the idea of playing that game on keyboard, but eventually I just had to tough it out. I had to complete the run somehow. Now, when I started running PC all bosses, there hasn't been any of the new resources that we have so that it makes the Mantis fight easier. But for a while there, I was actually defeating Psycho Mantis, one of the hardest bosses in the game, with just a keyboard, and I'm very proud of it. I still do it today sometimes just to show off. But it's a very difficult transition, especially from someone like me where I'm so used to using a controller. And for people who want to get into that run specifically, the only advice I can really give is just make sure you have a very comfortable layout for your keyboard. If you're not comfortable with the original keyboard layout that the game gives you, you can change it. That's the great thing about the PC port of MGS1. The worst recommendation I've heard from people when it comes to streaming or speedrunning is to just grind. I honestly think that's terrible advice. If you're starting to go into autopilot when it comes to speedrunning, you should really take a break. And the reason why I say that is because you get so tired of the grinding that you kind of forget. Sometimes you forget what you're doing if you grind so much. And also, I think with grinding, you're not really opening your mind to other possibilities, especially if new developments are fastly changing. So then you just become so comfortable with what you're doing, you don't want to go outside of your comfort zone when a new strat is discovered that is proven to be faster. And even though you say, well, it is faster, I'm comfortable with the way I'm doing it now, let me just keep grinding that till eventually it does become faster. Well, you may be right in saying you can do this fast enough, but you need to step outside your comfort zone and pretty much understand, just how to be more open-minded when it comes to speedrunning. And like I said earlier, if you find yourself in autopilot, just take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. My biggest supporter is my wife, even though sometimes she doesn't fully understand what I'm doing and also wonders every day why I like screaming at video games. But no matter what, she still continues to support me and, never tries to distract me from it. And she's even said, if this is something you truly love to do, just keep doing it. If it's something that truly makes you happy, just keep doing it. And, I say the same stuff for her as well, whatever hobbies she's into. I was inspired to speedrun from Plywood. Plywood is an excellent person. He's a very excellent runner. He's very knowledgeable and very approachable. After seeing his runs on AGDQ, I was just absolutely floored, and I was just so impressed with the way he conducted himself, just how well he ran the game, how knowledgeable he was. Yeah, he was definitely a big inspiration. When I wanted to start speedrunning Metal Gear Solid, he was the first person that I came in contact with, and eventually I got to know a wonderful community that I absolutely respect and love. The Metal Gear Solid speedrun community has slowly become my family, and I couldn't ask for a better community that continues to help me, inspire me, and also cheer me on so much.
That's it for this episode, but before we go, I'd like to give a huge shout out to UnderwaterSmoking for taking the time to answer the questions for this spotlight. You can find links to his YouTube, Twitch channel, and Twitter in the description below. Please consider giving him a follow. I hope you enjoyed today's Better Know a Speedrunner. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up, and to make sure you don't miss any future episodes, click that subscribe button. Of course, I'd love any feedback you have about this format. Are there other questions you'd like to see answered? Any that didn't work for you? Was this profile too short? Too long? Is there a particular speedrunner you'd like to see featured? Anything and everything, leave it in the comments below. Finally, if you're a runner yourself and you're interested in being featured on this series, hit me up on Discord, leave a comment, or go ahead and fill out the interview form. Link in the description. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching and see you next time.